Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Knife Standards RR Standard Plus. It's an updated, new and improved version of its first design, the RR Standard. Comes in this sweet little case. It's got some protection to it, and you get a birth card. You get a wire clip if you don't want the mill clip, and a little foam cutout right there. I don't know the exact OEM on these. I know you used, I think, Best Tech in the past. I don't know if they're used. It just says country of origin China, so I'm not too sure. You still have that same streamlined design. We have a large EDC knife coming in at 8.83 inches overall with a 4-inch blade and a 3.46 inch cutting edge. You got a nice two-tone finish. You got vertical belt satin here and a horizontal brush satin on the flats with this nice compound ground blade of CPM MagnaCut steel. There it is right there. Hardened from 63 to 64 HRC. That's pretty impressive. You don't see too many production companies being able to hit that. You have this nice deep hollow grind, and then it transitions into a robust flat grind tip right there. Check that out. Should be able to do some light prying with that tip because MagnaCut's a pretty darn tough steel. Now that may void your warranty, so do it at your own risk. Your thumb studs stay out of the cutting path. You got a perfectly executed sharpening choil. You can see right here, that's where it starts to thicken up. You can have all this sharpening life, plus it's a hollow grind, so you're going to have tons of sharpening life before you'll ever have to do anything with that. Nice, grippy jimping. I do wish it was closer, finer cut jimping because for my hands, that can be uncomfortable. It's not terrible, but I much prefer fine cut jimping. I find it does a better job and it's just a little bit more comfortable overall. Yeah, the ATR on the spine. Being this is his prototype, we won't be doing the usual testing, unfortunately. And I'm about to take my wife on a trip for her birthday, so I need to get some of these knocked out anyway. So that worked out for me in the end. Check this action out. Beautiful action. Now you do have a pretty stout blade right there. Blade stock thickness is 0.14, so that's definitely going to help carry it back to its home with those cage ceramic bearings and that ceramic detail ball. Let's check out the action. Thumb studs are fairly comfortable. This thing rockets out. Can I reverse flick? Yeah, you can reverse flick by putting your fingernail underneath there, but I'd rather just put my tip of my thumb there, and I can do it just as good that way. You can slow roll it. Yeah, that action, man, it's controlled. If I give it any shake, it's going down. Very, very nice. This particular variation has a dark blasted frame. His signature milling pattern, I absolutely love it. You have the RR squared pivot that is flush. You have a jungle wear fat carbon inlays, and as you can see here, your clip is reversible. All your hardware is Torx T8. Nice crisp hardware too. No gaps in that inlay that I can see. It looks like it's done very, very well. These deep chamfers make this feel contoured in the hand. You have flow through construction. Look how thick those slabs of tie are. Very minimal construction. One hourglass standoff in the back right there. And look at all that internal milling. And that's deep. Those two pockets right there are very deep. And then even, look at all that. Even on the lock side, you have tons of internal milling. Because this is a big knife. You don't want it to weigh 10 pounds. They managed to get the weight down on this one to 5 ounces. And I think that's a pretty respectable weight because this is a big knife. It's got thick slabs of tie, thick blade stock. I like how he put the smaller inlay on the show side, and then you flip it over and it turns into a bolster lock. And then just did the milling pattern down the middle, and it ties in with the milling pattern on the pocket clip. This jungle wear fat carbon scale right here is going to act as an over travel also. And when I first saw the clip, I thought it was just like a laser etching there, but let's see if I can get you up close. Those are pretty deep grooves. You can actually feel that. Listen. Yeah, I think you can see that. And there's your ramp to that clip. Yep, good flex to it. And I like seeing these where you can either go with the mill clip if you like it to look a little fancier, or if you just prefer functionality, you go with the wire clip that it comes with also. Love to hear y'all thoughts on how he did the inlays on this one. It's unique. You don't see that done that often. I'm just happy to see an inlay on both sides. If I get one on the show side, I'd like to see something on the opposite side too. The lockup on this one's about, I'd say 30% or so. Access to the lock bar, even though it's flush with the show scale, they're thick enough slabs and you got a deep enough chamfer that I can get my finger in there very nicely. Nice positive engagement there. Yeah, I didn't think so. This one has absolutely no movement in that pivot, up or down, left or right, exactly what you want to see. Now for some quick size comparisons. As you can see, it's bigger than both the Ontario Wrap 1 and 2. It's very similar in length to the Microtech MSI, and it's just a hair longer than the Demco 8020. And lastly, it's just a hair shorter than the Spyderco XL Manix. It's very similar in length to the Kumbu Pulsar XL. Now, being that absolutely no knife's perfect, what are my nitpicks and complaints? I would have loved to see some finer cut jimping there, but that's just me. My hands are not as good as most. So for me, it just kind of, it's a little uncomfortable. So take that with a grain of salt, please. And something that I feel just by squeezing hard, you got to remember I wasn't able to do the testing, so this may not be an issue at all. But see this edge right here where that texture is coming down? I think they should have put a bigger bevel right there, just because it feels a little blocky in my hands. But you know, that may not be the case. Like I said, I wasn't able to do any testing with this, so I couldn't really tell you for sure. But see, you can see it better right here. It's not sharp or anything, but just making it blockier. Definitely a well-made knife, no doubt about it. You can tell it's very fine-tuned. It's a big one. Another thing about the ergos like that, it may also be because it's a big knife. If you have big mitts, your hands may fall different on here. The creases of my fingers right here are falling into that section, so it just kind of feels awkward. This reverse pull grip is okay, but I'm feeling this right here. And the reverse gas station knife fight grip's great because this comes around all the way. You can wrap your thumb around there. Boop. Every knife standard knife I've ever gotten, they're all super high quality, 100%. I was carrying my Knife Standards EDC fixed blade the other day. Man, that thing's nice. I love how Knife Standards all his designs are dedicated in his father's memory, and I think that's awesome. You know, that gives it so much more meaning to the designs, at least in my opinion. He did his first drop on these on September 5th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you did not catch it, and if they are sold out, sign up for his newsletter because he's going to be doing drops on Fridays. And if you sign up for his newsletter, you can get the latest drop sneak peeks, so you can see what materials he's going to be using that week, or stuff like anything that, you know, may be different on the actual knife itself. You will get the first peek at it if you're signed up to his newsletter. You can go check these out at knifestandards.com. And you can check him out on Instagram at Knife Standards. Once again, always a pleasure to check out his stuff. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave those down below and I'll do my best to get back with you. Or if they're not for me in there for Knife Standards, I will direct him to that comment. All right, guys and girls, I hope y'all are having a fantastic day today. And remember, keep these blades sharp, smile more, peace.